Klay Thompson's dad ended up checking Monica McNutt and everybody who has the same ideology that she has when it comes to why Caitlyn Clark is famous and why she's such a big phenomenon in this world, man.
Imagine this. Mychal Thompson, NBA champion, Lakers legend, father of Klay Thompson, a man who's played with Magic Johnson, faced Michael Jordan, and witnessed basketball royalty for decades. Now picture him, starstruck, almost speechless after meeting Caitlyn Clark. Yes, that Caitlyn Clark. In a world where WNBA stars are often debated and dissected, Thompson's genuine awe is a powerful statement. But it stands in stark contrast to a very different narrative being pushed by some in the media, a narrative that questions the very foundation of Clark's fame. Why is ESPN analyst Monica McNutt seemingly determined to undermine the WNBA's biggest draw? And what did this NBA legend say that's putting McNutt and her controversial opinions firmly in their place?
Well, they don't like Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark, I've been noticing, I've been following her career since she was a sophomore at Iowa, and I recognized how different she was, how different she played the game. She played the game like Steph Curry. We had never seen a woman play like that before.
Why her?
Same thing.
Why her?
Well, I was just about to say same thing for Angel Reese when I had a chance to cover their games. But I think Caitlyn represented, and again, some of this to me probably is not fair to her because it was not anything that she said or was truly based on her personality, but she was a white girl from the middle of America.
Monica McNutt just crossed a line.
Monica McNutt's comments have ignited a firestorm. In a recent interview, she didn't attribute Caitlyn Clark's meteoric rise to her record-breaking scores, her dazzling passes, or her undeniable impact on women's basketball. Instead, McNutt suggested something far more divisive: race. She stated that Clark's popularity stemmed from her being a white girl from the middle of America. Let that sink in. According to McNutt, it's not about talent, it's about demographics. This isn't just a fleeting opinion, it's part of a pattern. McNutt consistently seems to downplay Clark's achievements, reducing her phenomenal success to something other than her skill and dedication. But is there any merit to this argument, or is something else entirely at play?
We attach our fandom to these icons for all types of reasons. And so she represented a whole lot to a lot of people, whether that is truly what she prescribed to or not. We can all say she is a dynamic basketball player and a force both on the court and the marketing sense. But I do think, same thing with folks that may have fallen in love with Angel Reese that she may or may not have agreed with everything they had to say either.
The WNBA and all the people that follow the WNBA and try to promote the WNBA don't understand that Caitlyn Clark's game resonates with us. I say this every day, and every day I got to deal with somebody else dumb in the media. Caitlyn Clark's game resonates because she's got flair, she's got flash, she's got style. I said this before, and I'll say this again. We saw Sue Bird's game. We saw Diana Taurasi's game. Kim Mulkey was Sue Bird before Sue Bird became Sue Bird. We've seen it. We haven't seen Caitlyn Clark.
Let's be clear about what Monica McNutt's comments conveniently ignore. Caitlyn Clark didn't just appear out of nowhere. She shattered NCAA scoring records. Her court vision is generational. Her deep threes have redefined the women's game. She connects with fans on a genuine level, inspiring millions, especially young kids. These aren't accidental achievements. They're the result of years of relentless work, honed skills, and a burning passion for the game. To reduce all of this to her race and geographic origin is not only dismissive, it's insulting. It strips away Clark's agency, her hard work, and the very essence of what makes her a phenomenon. Why would someone with McNutt's platform consistently target a player who is undeniably elevating women's basketball to new heights?
The folks that cover the NBA, these people that play in the NBA, these people that cover the NBA, there I said these people, all of you, black, white, green, purple, why don't you understand a very simple thing? Her game is dynamic. Like Diana Taurasi was like a jackass to Caitlyn Clark. Why? Her game is what people are drawn to. And then you go to the personality. Her game is different than any WNBA woman ever. And she wins, and she shoots from deep. It's no different than Steph Curry. How many times we got to say?
But honestly, the main reason is because of her talents. It's not because of her race. Her race has nothing to do with it. Especially with kids. She's saying kids don't see color, man. The kids that I grew up around, and when I grew up as a kid, I didn't see color, man. I did not see color. I didn't care about color. I didn't know what color was. I just knew you were a human being and I was trying to be your friend. It's kind of a crazy, nonsensical take to say that kids were looking up to her because she was white.
Enter Mychal Thompson. This isn't just another commentator. This is a man who understands basketball at its deepest level. Two-time NBA champion with the Lakers, teammate of Magic Johnson, father of Klay Thompson. His basketball pedigree is undeniable, and when Mychal Thompson speaks about basketball, people listen. His perspective isn't based on opinion or agenda. It's rooted in decades of experience at the highest levels of the sport. And what does Thompson see in Caitlyn Clark? Something extraordinary. Something that transcends race, background, and hype. He sees pure, undeniable basketball talent.
There's all type of nationalities and ethnicities that follow Caitlyn Clark and rock with her. So it's not that. I don't think that's the case.
Fans didn't take this lying down. Social media exploded with outrage following McNutt's comments. One user on X wrote, "She should be fired immediately," as hashtags trended and clips of her statement circulated widely. The backlash wasn't just about defending Clark. It was about pushing back against the insulting implication that Clark's diverse fan base supports her because of racial identity rather than basketball brilliance.
But hey, it's every day. I don't know why Monica McNutt or anybody that professes to know basketball can't simply say, you know, her game's just different than everybody we've ever seen. Ever. Now, don't tell me. I've watched. Ever. Tamika Catchy's great player. Seen her game.
Thompson doesn't just offer praise, he offers an explanation for the negativity surrounding Clark. He calls it the Jeep theory, an acronym for jealousy, envy, egos, and pettiness. According to Thompson, these are the real drivers behind the criticism, not legitimate basketball analysis. He believes that some simply can't accept Clark's unprecedented rise and impact. It's a bold accusation, but coming from someone with Thompson's experience, it carries significant weight. He suggests that these negative emotions are clouding judgment and preventing some from acknowledging Clark's true greatness. Is it possible that jealousy and envy are playing a larger role in the Caitlyn Clark narrative than objective analysis?
You would have the Sky in the playoffs right now, which means that Angel Reese, in theory, has impacted winning in a greater way. But I think the double-double streak that she's on, the 8 consecutive double-doubles, for Caitlyn, she's leading rookies.
Ella Dunn, Sabrina, Brianna, Kelsey, Diana Taurasi. You had and have these white players in the league that never galvanized the people like this. All right? Now, granted, you can have some people come back and say, well, the media and the coverage wasn't as good as it is now. NILs and things like that weren't popping off. That has nothing to do with it. That has nothing to do with it, man. If they were that captivating, they would have got the eyes.
Perhaps the most powerful part of Thompson's defense is his comparison of Clark to Steph Curry. He says he recognized early on that Clark played the game like Steph Curry. This isn't hyperbole. It's a profound observation. Curry revolutionized basketball with his revolutionary shooting range and court vision. Thompson sees the same game-changing potential in Caitlyn Clark. He recognizes that her style of play is unique in women's basketball, just as Curry's was in the NBA. This comparison elevates Clark beyond just being a good player. It positions her as a transformative figure, someone who is fundamentally altering the way the game is played.
Minutes and assists. There was terrific stats put out over the weekend by our colleague Michael Vopel about the percentage, about her being the player that has seen the most blitzes in the league. And so she's navigating a different level of defensive intensity, and rightfully so, because she's playing a point guard role for this Fever squad. So I think today, looking at the standings, you probably tend to lean Angel.
Okay. To me, yeah, jealous, sure. Would you be jealous of somebody that got $28 million a shoe deal or whatever the deal is?
When you go watch Caitlyn Clark, I did this. I went to go to a Fever game, not because I'm so enamored with women's basketball or because I'm so enamored with Caitlyn Clark. No, I wanted to see what it was like on the court. Who did my eyes go to? And without question, it was a game against Phoenix. Big old Brittany Griner's out there. Very hot Sophie Cunningham is out there, but they didn't matter. All eyes go to Caitlyn Clark because of the way she plays, the way she competes, the way she's a little bit, to use Shannon Sharps, we're a little nasty on the court, nasty to her teammates. She's screaming at a ref right in front of us. I had first row seats right there under the basket. Fantastic.
Looking closer, a pattern emerges in Monica McNutt's commentary. Whenever Clark reaches a milestone, McNutt seems to shift the goalposts. When Clark was breaking records as a rookie, McNutt suddenly emphasized team success, arguing for Angel Reese as Rookie of the Year because her team made the playoffs, despite Clark's superior individual stats. Watch McNutt's body language during ESPN segments about Clark, the eye rolls, the dismissive gestures, the restrained enthusiasm. Even McNutt herself admitted to jealousy regarding Clark's endorsement deals. Is this objective analysis, or is it something more personal influencing her perspective? The evidence suggests a consistent pattern of downplaying and dismissing Clark's achievements.
Her game's different than ours. Her game's special. They always got to go to Little White Girl. I didn't hear anybody going to Little White Girl with Diana Taurasi. Why is that? I don't know. There's a jealousy there, no question. But they just can't bring themselves to say, we've never seen this before. I've seen more basketball in a year than Monica McNutt has seen in her lifetime.
I knew once she got further along in her career in college, I used to tell all my colleagues who are not into women's basketball, I say, hey man, you got to check out this girl at Iowa, man. She shoots from the logo. She shoots from almost half court. She's different. And I was trying to emphasize her for about a year. Then we finally caught on. And men who travel with us in our traveling party who are basically anti-women's basketball, just didn't care for it, didn't want to talk about it, had no interest in it at all. All of a sudden, they started watching Caitlyn Clark and got intrigued by her, and they became fans of her and her game.
There's an undeniable irony to Monica McNutt's criticism. She collects a paycheck from ESPN, the very network that is broadcasting Caitlyn Clark's games and benefiting immensely from her popularity. Clark is driving ratings, attracting new fans, and boosting the entire WNBA ecosystem. By consistently criticizing Clark, is McNutt biting the hand that feeds her and simultaneously undermining the very success she benefits from? It raises questions about the motivations behind her commentary and whether personal bias is overshadowing professional responsibility.
Damn near half the crowd would cheer when they scored. Is this everywhere?
I don't care. When I was in Indy, I didn't care about that. The only thing I remember about Indy is when I was leaving Cambridge Arena in a loading dock, Caitlyn Clark walked right by me, and I froze. I didn't say hello to her. How about that? My favorite basketball player outside of Clay was right there in front of me. There she was, and I said, no, I can't do it. But getting back to your question, you're right. That's what I remember most about Indiana. Caitlyn Clark is right there next to me. And now that she's in the WNBA, man, I tell you, she needs a Jeep endorsement, commercial, because Jeep is an acronym that I've come up with of the way she has been treated and not welcomed into the WNBA.
And it is absolutely a stated fact. You watch Caitlyn Clark, you go to a game, all eyes on her. Why? The way it is. The way it was actually with Reggie Miller. I remember going to Market Square. I didn't know Reggie Miller was great. This is early. All eyes on him. Jordan, all eyes on him. There's very few all eyes on. You can say whatever you want about about Charles Barkley not winning a championship, but when you went to a game and Charles was playing, all eyes were on Sir Charles, period. I'm sure it was the same way in hockey, all eyes on Gretzky, but I get it. These folks can't understand that. The women of the WNBA can't understand that. They know it, they can't admit it.
So, who are you more inclined to believe? Monica McNutt, with her controversial takes and pattern of criticism, or Mychal Thompson, the NBA legend, starstruck by Caitlyn Clark's talent and offering a Jeep theory of jealousy and pettiness? One sees race and background as the primary drivers of Clark's success. The other sees a generational talent, a game changer on the level of Steph Curry. Caitlyn Clark and the Indiana Fever are building something special. Will their undeniable talent eventually silence the critics and force even the most stubborn doubters to acknowledge her greatness? What do you think? Let us know in the comments below. And if you want more deep dives into the biggest stories in sports, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you in the next breakdown.